Hello students, we are in the topic cell, the unit of life. As the definition says, it is the structural and functional unit of life, may be prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Each cell bounded by cell wall, cell membrane, enclosing protoplast which gets differentiated into nucleus and cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm we can see various cell organelles working for the cell in eukaryotic organization, while in prokaryote there is no well-defined nucleus due to absence of nuclear membrane. Membrane-bound organelles are totally absent, but they can show a ribosome, a site for protein synthesis. In eukaryotic organization, so far I have already covered endomembranous system like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes, vacuole, and after that I have covered mitochondria in previous session. Mitochondria and the plastids, these are ellipsoidal, disc-shaped, cylindrical cell organelles freely suspended in the cytoplasm of autotrophic cells, while in heterotrophic cells, plastids are absent. It contains only mitochondria. These mitochondria are referred as powerhouse of the cell. During oxidation of the substrates, the Krebs cycle and terminal oxidation, these two phases in aerobic respiration or complete oxidation takes place in mitochondria, where the energy liberated is phosphorylating ADP to ATP. So, continuous ATP production occur in the mitochondria. Hence, it is referred as powerhouse of the cell. In today's session, let us study plastids. Plastids are found in autotrophic cells. But in monerans, which includes prokaryotes, they have thylakoidal systems. They don't have well-developed organization like plant cell, like protist, which are autotrophs. So here, considering the well-developed plants and their plastids we are studying. In storage cells, colorless plastids are present. We call them as leucoplastids. These leucoplastids are storing carbohydrates, proteins and lipids. So, based on the stored food, leucoplastids we call it as amyloplastids, storing carbohydrates. Then aleuroplastids, storing proteins, and eleoplastids, storing lipids. So, leucoplastids are classified based on the stored food. Amylo, carbohydrate, aleuro, proteins, eleo, lipids. So these remained as colorless without photosynthetic pigments. While chromoplastids, they store accessory pigments. Now accessory pigments, they trap solar energy and supply towards necessary pigments chlorophyll molecule. Now these accessory pigments organized as phycobilins or carotenoids or xanthophylls. Now these accessory pigments give colors to the plastids, hence the name chromoplastids. If it exhibits red, we consider it as the plastid storing erythrin. If it exhibits blue, we consider plastids containing phycocyanin. If it is yellowish in color, consider that chromoplast contains xanthophylls, and if it is orange, chromoplast containing orange pigment. So, the color to the petals of the flowers, fruits, then ripened fruits, seeds, these all are due to the presence of chromoplastids. But the main plastid present in green parts of the plant, especially in the mesophyll of the leaf, are chloroplastids. Each chloroplast is cylindrical or disc-shaped organelle, minute in their size, considering the diameter, length, width, they are in micrometers. each plastid, chloroplastid, when you take a transfer section, under electron microscope with higher magnifying powers, we can see two membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane, enclosing periplastidial space. The cavity of chloroplast is filled with the semi-solid mass known as stroma, and stroma contain grana interconnected by frayed membranes. Now this diagram and the labelings carry 3 marks weightage. While in yesterday's session, mitochondria, where we have shown outer membrane, perimitochondrial space, inner membrane which is not continuous, it is showing infoldings known as cristae. On the surface of cristae, rackers or elementary particles which are freely suspended in the cavity filled with the matrix. Like that here, outer inner membrane enclosing the stroma with grana and frayed membranes. Now, what exactly grana are? These are the piles of thylakoids. So each pile containing 25 to 60 disc-shaped thylakoids representing a single granum. So when you separate the granum, we will get this saucer-shaped thylakoid. Thylakoid contains on the surface antennae. These are called LHPs, light harvesting proteins. So these are the structures, these are protein complexes which are trapping the beam of photons which is available in the solar radiations and supply that energy towards the contasomes having reaction centers. Now the contasome, when we magnify it, contain photosystems. Now inside the grana, only PS2 is present along with PS1, while in the frayed membranes also contasomes are present. So here contasomes contain PS1. Now PS1, it stands for photosystem or pigment system. Pigment referring the organic molecule chlorophyll A, B, C, D, E along with accessory pigments erythrin, phycocyanin, xanthophyll and carotenoids. So PS1 is rich in chlorophyll A. It traps the solar radiations whose wavelength is 700 nanometer. It is devoid of oxygen evolving complex. So this PS1 is involved in cyclic photophosphorylation. This you will understand when we deal with photosynthesis in higher plants under unit 4. So PS1 is without OEC, oxygen evolving complex is absent. So it cannot use water as an electron donor. Whatever electrons are emitted from chlorophyll A during photoexcitation, they will come back to chlorophyll A. So same electron going, traveling and coming back, yielding ATP molecules. So here oxygen is not involved, water is not used, and this pathway we call it as cyclic photophosphorylation. While in PS2 containing chlorophyll A, chlorophyll B, whose reaction center is 680 nm, so it absorbs the solar radiations whose wavelength is 680 nanometer. It contains OEC, oxygen evolving complex, which utilizes water molecule and splits into hydrogen ions, liberating oxygen as a byproduct. Thus O2 is evolved, electrons are generated. The reason is the electrons emitted from chlorophyll A, it will not return. Electrons emitted from chlorophyll B will not come back, and on the way ADP phosphorylated to ATP, and lastly they generates NADPH2. So here emitted electron is not coming back. So this we call it as non-cyclic phosphorylation. So in the contasomes, having pigment system 1, pigment system 2 involve in cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation, where water is used as an electron donor, oxygen evolved as a byproduct, generating ATP molecules as well as assimilatory power NADPH2. So here grana remain active as long as light is available, showing photoexcitation of the pigments, showing photophosphorylation, and in non-cyclic they are showing photolysis of water. So each word in the light reaction starts with photo. So light reaction occur in the grana. Grana contain thylakoids, thylakoid contain contasomes, contasomes contain pigment systems, and pigment systems are classified as PS1 and PS2. Involved in cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. It is only after photolysis, and photolysis is only after photoexcitation. So photoexcitation, photolysis, photophosphorylation, where water is involved as an electron donor, oxygen is evolved as a byproduct, where solar energy gets trapped and converted into radiant energy converted into chemical energy, ATP molecules. Thus, grana involved in light reaction, whatever ATP and NADPH2 are produced in the grana, they are available in the stroma to fix carbon dioxide, and it undergo reduction where hydrogen is given by NADPH2 and energy requirement is provided by ATP molecules to synthesize carbohydrate. It is devoid of light, so dark reaction. So chloroplastid having grana for light reaction, having stroma for dark reaction. Light reaction is photochemical phase, dark reaction is biosynthetic phase. Light reaction require water and dark reaction require carbon dioxide. Thus, a photosynthesis where in presence of solar energy, H2O and CO2 are utilized to generate carbohydrate, giving water and oxygen as a byproduct. Hope. In this topic, you need to remember only the structure of mitochondria and of chloroplast along with the types of plastids. Whatever I explained extra regarding the function of mitochondria and functioning and functional status of chloroplastid, this is necessary for the next unit when we learn plant physiology. With this, I'll conclude today's session. Thank you very much.